Hey guys, welcome to JasonWhiskyWise. Myself, Jason, bringing you whiskey review number 76, where today we're going to review a Arran 2007 Amarone Cask finish. So this is something rather interesting, as I actually saw a full bottle of this when I was in Scotland, and it caught my curiosity, because I'm big at the minute into the Arran whiskies, and this has been part of their limited range, which they released back a little while ago. So I'm going to start pouring myself a dram of this and work my way through my review style structure, which starts off with the age of this whiskey. And this is not the same as the current Arran Amarone, which you'll see in the market. So in terms of age, this is a no age statement. It does have the year which it was distilled, but that was minus that. It was not really an age statement whiskey. ABV of this one is 55% ABV. The cask selection, and they don't specify what was the first maturation, but it was primarily finished in Amarone casks, which is an Italian wine. Now the distillery itself is the Arran Distillery, which you'll see over there. The parent company of them is the Isle of Arran Distillers Limited. You can see my phone going off, notifications. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, I'll leave that just there. Be sure to go and follow me on those, and you can keep up to date with all my recent posts and drinks. So getting back to the review, in terms of the actual region, is from the islands of Scotland, which you'll see there, and it's the Isle of Arran, which is not too far from Glasgow, and it's where I'm actually going to visit next time I'm up in Scotland. So you'll see me take you on that one, and I'm also going to have some distillery videos coming soon. So that was from my recent trip to Scotland. So anyway, getting back to this one, the price on this full-size bottle, which you'll see over there, is £125, which I saw on Master Malt, and I think in Scotland in one of the shops it was £150 because it was part of exclusive limited range. In terms of exclusivity, yes, it was 3,220 bottles. So it was quite limited. It was just not a huge, massive production, but at the same time it wasn't a very small batch. Now in terms of caramel colour, no caramel colour was added to this whiskey, so everything you see here is natural colour. You can see it is quite a dark start. So on that note, let's begin by assessing the colour on this whiskey, and I'm going to hold that for you there. What do you guys think at home? I think this is more or less, I'd say, an old amber. It's got like a nice dark tint to it. It's got a slight little bit of red in it, but it's not as distinctively visible. So we'll start off with assessing the nose, and then we'll work our way through the whiskey. So, into the nose. So to begin on the nose of this whiskey, it starts off lots of red fruits to begin with. And this is rather interesting. I'm getting like sweet dried cranberries. Little notes of even white chocolate. And if you get that white chocolate infused with raspberries, dried raspberries, and sort of when you take a bite out of it, there's raspberries, a little crack in on your taste buds. That's what I'm getting. You're getting that creamy white chocolate on the nose and a little bit of raspberries making themselves, that little sourness coming from them. I'm also picking out a sour sort of cherry note. It's like those sour dark cherries. And then a sort of a sweeter floral honey note as well on the end of that. Really interesting. You're getting a sort of also an oaky, you're definitely getting that distinctive wine cask finish, and you can tell the wine cask influence in this one. I think it was left a little bit longer, so you get more of that oaky presence on the nose, and then sort of on the end you get that back to a little sweeter, but it reminds me of sort of melted butter before you pour that over popcorn, so that sort of resembles on the nose of this one. Quite a lot of red fruits to begin, and that's kind of an interesting one because I've never tried Amarone cask finishes before. So this is also, I'm going to be reviewing the Arran Amarone Cask finish, which is different from this one, as that one is part of their core range at the minute. But really a nice nose on this one. Lots of red fruits. So, next move into the palate. So to begin on the palate for this whiskey, a lot of spices greeting you on the entry, but I'm going to start with a sort of citrusy note. It begins with like tangerine, quite bitter. I'd say tangerine zest, but also including the pith, as you're getting that quite bitter, soury presence from this citrus note. You then work your way into the spices, and again a cinnamon powder, not cinnamon bark, cinnamon powder, a little sweet, a little dryness on the palate. Red plums come straight to mind, and this is red plums with the skin, so you're getting a little tannins note, a little bitterness coming through again. An interesting slight salty note, which is very interesting. I don't normally get that on Arran, even though it is an island. A little salty note right at the back palate. And then sour cherries back as on the nose. Now they're reflected onto the palate. A little bit of dark grapes again with the skins. A little candy note in the end. What would I say? Candied ginger, adding a little warmth with that spice, which has stayed consistent. The spice actually doesn't go up and down. This one kind of remains consistent with a medium level of spice. At the beginning, actually, it was a little bit more dominant, but it stays medium towards the middle and the back of the palate. So, quite a spicy dram with that red fruits infused together. So we move into the finish, and then we'll come to my conclusion on this whiskey. So the finish for this whiskey, it quite sinks into the taste buds quite a lot. Those stewed red fruits this time, cranberries, raspberries, all sinking into your taste buds as they've had time to simmer together. A sweet tobacco note rolls off the palate, and a little oaky, vanilla oaky presence as well on the sides of the palate, with a little hint of spice, leaving more, I'd say, a short medium finish, not really anything long, as it fades fairly quickly. I've left it on the palate for a couple minutes, and it just sort of just gone after you've left it and you've sort of taken the drink down. But all in all, not a bad whiskey, very interesting style, Amarone, and I've not seen many companies use that. In terms of my rating, actually no, I'm gonna change my rating, because first time I tried this one, I thought it was alright, but the spice aspect, it's got a lot of spice here now, which I normally never get in whiskies. I'm giving this one an 81 out of 100. Reason behind that one, it's an interesting style of finish, but the spice aspect I find too hot, and for 55%, I normally don't get that. I drink a lot more stuff, up to 60% even, like sherry bombs and everything, and this one I just found a little bit hot, but the spice aspect was quite dominant on the palate to the finish, but the nose was really lovely with those red fruits. In terms of value for money as well, at £125, do I think it's worth it? No, not really, because there is a 50% ABV one, which is £43. So in that sense, I'd say it's not value for money. Would it need time? I've tried this without water and with water and left it for time. Time doesn't do a big difference to this whiskey, but water, yes. If you add water to whiskey, this rating would probably go a little bit higher, as it does subdue a little bit of the spice, but not so much. So all in all, that's my sort of rating for this whiskey. If I had to summarize it in a few words, I'd say red fruits with spice. And spice would be in capitals, because there's quite a bit of spice that goes on this whiskey. But anyway, we're going to have some more of the Arrans coming up soon. I believe I'm going to do the whole range, so look forward to doing those. But on that note, this has been JasonWhiskyWise. If you have enjoyed the video, by all means, feel free to drop it a like. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date. And I'll leave some videos on Arran here, and here when I get to them very soon. So this has been JasonWhiskyWise, and I'll catch you all for the next video.